Hi guys, it's your girl Naja coming to you today with a storytime video. I am actually going to do a two-part to this video. The first video will be my labor and delivery story, and the second part will be my NICU journey and NICU experience with my daughter. Let me give you a little bit of a background on my pregnancy with my daughter. It was pretty easy up until about 11 weeks. When I was about 6 to 8 weeks, I did experience, like, I guess, plantation bleeding or like some type of bleeding, but it was just more like spotting. It wasn't anything. It didn't soak up a pad or anything like that. Around 11 weeks, I did have bleeding, and I went to the emergency room for that, and the doctor in the ER actually checked me, and he told me that he thought that my cervix was soft. Now, he did say that it could still be soft because it's just closing. This is my first pregnancy, so it might take my body a little while to, I guess, process the pregnancy. And so I followed up with my regular OB, and he checked everything. He said he felt like I was fine, that looking at the scans from the baby from the ER, she was fine. Went through all my appointments, on a regular. And my 20-week appointment, she was fine. We didn't find out she was a girl at 20 weeks. We found out she was a girl at 16 weeks. We went and did a 4D ultrasound that night around 12 a.m. And I went to go use the restroom, and when I wiped, I saw blood. And when I looked in the toilet, I saw a little bit of blood as well. My mom and my fiance kind of assured me that, everything's going to be okay. Just go back to sleep. We can go get checked in the morning. I woke up the next morning, and I went into the hospital, which my doctor's office at the time was connected to the hospital. So when I went to triage, they did, everything that they were supposed to do. Wait, check me, blah, blah, blah. When I went in to the room, they hooked me up to the monitors, and they were just listening for heartbeats, looking for contractions, and things like that. And so I was in there for about 2 hours. I mean, like, before they even came and did a vaginal check, before they came and even told me anything. So that kind of sparked like something. I was getting really pissed, and by that time my mom had come. She left. The midwife came in to check me, and that's when she did the vaginal check, and she was just asking me all these weird questions like, are you in any pain? Do you feel any contractions? Do you feel any tightening? Do you feel any of this? Do you feel any of that? And I'm like, no, I don't feel anything. I'm just tired, really. Like, I was really, 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 really tired because I woke up at 12 a.m. and I pretty much didn't sleep until at all. Pretty much didn't sleep at all because I was worried. So once she just looked at me and she said, well, sweetheart, you're 4 centimeters dilated, and once you hit 4 centimeters, there's really no turning back point. And so me and my mom were looking like, well, what do you mean by, like, there's no turning point? And basically what she was saying is that I was going into preterm labor. So after she did her check, a ultrasound tech came in, and she did an ultrasound on me, and I was supposed to be measuring at like right at 23 weeks, but I was measuring at 23 weeks and 6 days. Well, no, I was actually measuring at 24 weeks. I was supposed to be measuring at 23 weeks, but I was measuring at 24 weeks. So she was a little bit bigger than what they said she was supposed to be. So after they did that, about an hour passed. I called my fiance and I told him what was going on. So he worked right around the corner. Once he got there, they took me and they admitted me to the hospital. From there, they gave me potassium something. I honestly don't even know what they gave me. They gave me something, I guess, to try to stop the labor. That shit ain't work. 10 to 3, I was sitting in triage. They finally admitted me around 3 o'clock. Well, like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And that's when they gave me the steroid injections. I got 2 of those in that time I ended up getting 2 of them. One when I was at this certain hospital, and then the next one when I got to the second hospital. So the midwife came and checked me, and she told me she thought I was around 5 centimeters. So after that, they basically brought a whole team of people in and was getting my room prepared and set up for a preterm labor. And at that point, like, I knew what was going on, but I didn't know what was going on because I actually wanted to be a NICU nurse at one point, and I was kind of confused because I knew babies came early, but I didn't realize that they came this early. And it's not that I didn't realize it, but it was actually happening to me. Like, I've read the books, I've seen stories, I've heard people talk about preemies, I've heard, seen preemies before, but none of them were this small. Like, she's tiny at this point. Like, she can't survive. If I had her right now, she can't survive on her own. So the NICU team came in and they came to talk to me, and the guy was saying, well, we don't have the equipment to save her life. We can't, the high gestation that we take is 32 weeks, and your baby is 23 weeks, and I don't feel comfortable putting a breathing tube that size down her throat, and if I can't get the breathing tube down her throat, I don't feel comfortable doing any resuscitation on her. Like, all these things this man was saying to me, and you can ask anybody in that room because it was pretty much my family and his family, and I was just looking at that man like, okay, would you shut up? Like, let's find a solution. You're telling me what you can't do. I need to know what you will do and when you gonna do it, because I don't want to hear that my baby gonna die. I want to hear that you're gonna save her life. Like, I know in the medical field they have to give you what's real. They can't just say, oh, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. I know that they are not supposed to say that. So I got where he was coming from, but in my mind I'm like, I want to slap you right now. Like, I don't want to hear this, okay? And so after that, he looked at me and my fiance, and he said, so if I can't resuscitate her, what would you like me to do? He looked at me and my fiance, and he said, so what would you like me to do? And I didn't say anything. I literally just looked at my fiance like, baby, gonna answer this question. Like, I couldn't say let my baby die. Like, that could not come out of my mouth. And I know it was so hard for him to say it, because usually when situations come up like this, he's very good with handling them. Like, he can handle them pretty well, but he just sounded so timid and so scared at that point when he was talking to that doctor. Like, that was a hard moment for me. And so after he said that, I felt like the hospital just gave up on us. Like, I just felt like they just totally and completely gave up on us. Like, they kept telling us that, oh, we're going to try to get you to the main hospital. We're going to try to get them to transport you. And then a nurse came in and said they're not accepting patients right now, and they're not accepting any babies right now. If she was born, they wouldn't be able to take her, and blah, blah, blah. Mind you, this hospital, the main hospital, is connected to a children's hospital. Shout out to Children Levine's Hospital here in Charlotte, because they saved my baby's life, okay? So let's just put that out there. But, like, how are they not accepting patients? Like, even if we came in the emergency room without coming to your hospital, they still would have accepted us. Like, what are you saying right now? Like, after I heard the stuff that this hospital was saying, I was just so done. I was just completely pissed, done. Like, and when I'm pissed, I shut down. I don't talk to anybody. I don't say nothing. I just sit there, like, and I guess people thought I was being cold, but I wasn't. I was just trying to figure out what the hell we were going to do. And mind you, my mom's still there. Like, I'm telling you, if you know my mom, you know how she is about her kids. So just think about how she is about her grandchild. Like, her kids are everything, okay? And I can say right now, Nala is more to her than we are right now. And I'm not saying that to be funny or to say that she loves Nala more or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But just shout out to my mom, okay? Because we didn't know this at the time, but my mom had, after we had talked to all these doctors and nurses or whatever, it was just my mom, me, and my fiance in a room. And my fiance was sleeping. My mom went outside because she smokes. And I thought she was just going to have a smoke. You know, she was kind of tearing up because she was like, you know, I might lose my grandchild. So when she went outside, she called the hospital. Not the hospital that I was in, but the main hospital that I was trying to get to. And she called the, labor and delivery unit? I don't know what it's called. And she cussed them people out. Like, when I say she cussed them people out, within 30 minutes of her calling that main hospital, I had an ambulance coming to get me from that hospital. So whatever those doctors and nurses and bullshit ass people were trying to tell us that they were doing for me and my baby, they weren't. Like, when my mom called up to the hospital, they had no idea what was going on. They had no idea who I was. They had no idea that there was a baby supposed to be coming. They had no idea. So within that 30 minutes of my mom leaving and her coming back, who left? My mom left to go get gas in her car. Because she was like, basically, I'm going to get your ass out of here. I'm going to put you in this car. And I'm going to take you up to this other hospital because these people ain't doing what the fuck they supposed to do. And I'm sorry for cussing, but that's the truth. And they told my mom, they said, we will call the police on you if you take her. You will go to jail if you take her out of this hospital bed because you're endangering her life and the baby's life. And my mom was like, well, you're endangering her and the baby's life because y'all not doing what y'all supposed to do. They didn't want to airlift me because they were scared in the 10 minutes that I would have been in the the helicopter that I would have delivered her. They didn't want to transport me in a ambulance because they were afraid that the ambulance crew wouldn't be able to save the baby's life in the 30-minute ride that I would have took in the ambulance, which I did actually take an ambulance. So it was just like a catch-22. It was like, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. You know, leave and get to somewhere where they can save my baby or stay somewhere where they can't do anything for us. Like, it was just a whole bunch of bullshit, okay? And so my mom left to go get some gas in her car because she was going to take me up to the hospital. She didn't care if they called the police. She didn't care. And she called me on her way to the gas station because the gas station is right beside the hospital. She said, I just saw an ambulance, and I'm pretty sure that ambulance is coming to get you. So she just rushed back to the hospital. She didn't even get her gas. And lo and behold, it was these two nice men that came in to get me, and they just came up and was like, we're here to get Miss Jeter. We need to get her, and we need to take her to this hospital right now. Like, and then it was funny to me because this little nurse, she was rude as fuck anyway. We're not going to talk about that. And this doctor, I ain't like her. They come in, oh, the ambulance is here to take you. We finally got somebody to come and get you, blah, blah, blah. And we were all looking at her like, bitch, you ain't do nothing. You sitting here lying, telling us that you got somewhere for us to go. You ain't have nothing. You ain't have none of that. So, whatever. And the crazy part is, she came in and told me I was 7 centimeters dilated, y'all. Like, when I got to the main hospital, the man checked me. He was like, no. She told me I was 7 centimeters. And then she came and checked me 4 hours later, mind you, 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters. She came back 4 hours later and tried to tell me I was 5 centimeters. You do not regress like that. You don't. You don't go from 7 to 5. That don't happen. Okay? Anyway. Let's not talk about that woman, okay? We'll sigh on that woman, okay? So, these men, they were taking me in the hospital. I got to the main hospital. By the time I got to the main hospital, she had come down a little bit. And she was already, when they did the ultrasound, she was already head down. So she was in the position to come. My water hadn't broke. She was just coming, okay? So when I got to the hospital, the man checked me. I was bleeding a lot at this point because the ambulance ride was pretty bumpy. The man was kind of taking his time going because he didn't want to shake up the ambulance too much. So when I got there, I was bleeding a lot, and the doctor checked me. He said, yeah, she's dilating. She's 6 centimeters. And when I heard 6 centimeters, I was like, oh my God. So we were in the next hospital June 2nd. We got there around like 5 something in the morning. And I'll say in an hour, I was like, I looked at my nurse and I was like, mind you, I was still in triage at the new hospital, okay? Like, we got there around 5 something, around 6 something. I look at the nurse and I'm like, I think I need to push. And she ran. Like, I've never seen somebody run so fast. She ran out of the room, and like, this whole team of people just started coming in. Like, they rushed me to a labor and delivery room. And I would say within 15 to 20 minutes, another doctor came in to check me, and she was like, she's 10 centimeters dilated. What the hell? Like, when I say this doctor was cussing these nurses and these NICU people out, like, because they were supposed to be preparing my room for me to deliver. They were supposed to have the baby stuff set up. They were supposed to have my stuff set up. Mind you, after she, like, said I was 10 centimeters, it was like ants. It was like they was all gone. Like, they was just gone. And I'll say within maybe 10 minutes of her saying that I was 10 centimeters, I was pushing. Like, Nyla was still in the sack. They had not busted the sack. She was coming. Like, and I could feel all this. Mind you, I did not have time to get no epidural. I didn't have time to get any kind of pain medicine. I ain't had time to take no Tylenol, y'all, okay? So, within that 10 minutes, she came. Like, when my baby was born, she was born in her amniotic sac. And honestly, my experience with labor was scary. Some people, I don't know if they could say that. If you would have seen me, they might have said that it hurt me to have labor, but I didn't feel anything. My feelings were terror. I was afraid. I was horrified. I did not want my baby to come. All I kept saying was, no, I'm not pushing. I'm not pushing. I'm not like, I was looking at them people like, y'all better get the fuck out of my face because she ain't coming out. I'm not pushing. And all I remember is this sweet lady. She was pregnant. This sweet lady looked at me and she said, you need to calm down. This baby is coming whether you want it to or not. And you are her mother. You have to do everything you can to save her. You need to push. And so I just looked at her and I was like, okay. And within 2 to 3 pushes, she was out. And that was an experience that I would never want anybody to go through. Preterm labor is nothing like just having your baby and experiencing any type of traumatic birthing experience. I would not want anybody to go through, y'all, because it's literally life and death. Like, life and death. Right here in your hand, life and death. It's literally that serious. Like, ugh. So when she came out, she was in her sack, and the lady was holding the sack, and I could see my baby in the sack. She was waiting on the NICU team to tell her to pop the sack, because as soon as she popped the sack, that's when they had to cut the umbilical cord and blah, blah, blah. So she popped the sack, and when she popped the sack and she got Nala out, she was holding Nala like this. She was tiny. She didn't have to hold her like this. She could have held her with one hand, but she was holding her like this, and she let out this little cry. And it was the softest. It literally sounded like a little kitten meowing, like a baby kitten. It was just like, like, it was so tiny. But after I saw that and heard that, I knew she was fine. Like, mind y'all, this whole time, I'm trying to be a G. I ain't cried, nothing. They got my baby over there. They got the tube down her throat. And the doctor, one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Chu, she is a G. She was trying to get the tube down her throat, but she couldn't get it down Nala's throat. So my mom was like over there, mind you, I'm in the bed. They trying to get the afterbirth out. My mom over there with Nala, crying and cussing them people out. What the fuck is going on? Why y'all not getting the damn tube down her throat? Blah, blah, blah. Making the lady nervous. So they had to bring another lady in to put the tube down Nala's throat. That was kind of scary. But they ended up getting it in anyway. And so they had to take Nala down to the NICU. So when it was time for them to take Nala down to the NICU, they handed her, well, they didn't really hand her to me. They reached her over me so I could kiss her, and that was it. I didn't get to hold my baby. I didn't get to look at her. I didn't get to do anything after I had my baby. And that's when I broke down and started crying. And my mom looks at me and she goes, no, you will not cry. You will not cry because this is your baby. You have to take care of your baby. You have to be strong for your baby. And when I say I sucked them tears right up, girl, I was like, okay, let me not cry because my mama gonna get me if I cry. And through all of that commotion, my fiance's mom and sister, like, bust through the room. Like, his mom, it was so funny. I actually kind of, when I think back on it, I should have been laughing because they ain't knock on the door. They ain't say, can we come in? Nothing. They just busted through the door. She had already been born at this point. And it was just so cute and so funny because his mom was like, what's going on? What's going on? After I think about it, I kind of smile because I'm happy that I have a healthy, living baby. I can say that I went through something traumatic, but at the end of it, she was fine, you know? She was going to be taken care of regardless, you know? And I really do have a big shout out. Want to give a big shout out to the Children Levine's Hospital here in Charlotte. They are my number one hospital. Like, they are amazing. Their team is amazing. The experience I had, just me being in the hospital, period, compared to the other hospital that I was at first, was totally different. I mean, I had like 3 or 4 nurses in there with me. It was like literally 20 people in my labor and delivery room. But everybody was just in high spirits and was like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We got her. She's here. You know, we're going to take care of her. You know, like, and I didn't get to see her for a day. Like, y'all, I was looking at pictures of my baby. I could not see her for a day because I had to be in the bed. And it was so hard for me. Like, I didn't get to hold her. I didn't get to breastfeed her. I didn't get to do none of this stuff that you get to do with a normal delivery. Like, it's crazy. But I just love her. Like, she is literally everything to me. Like, if y'all knew my baby girl, which you'll get to meet her in some videos, she is amazing. Okay, she is funny, she is cute, she is a little crazy, but it's okay because that's her mama. Yeah, so that was pretty much my labor and delivery story.